Dragons definitely lived there, okay? All over Skye. No one can convince me otherwise. I will fight you on this. Luckily for me, I had booked a hostel all the way north on Uig, or in Uig, I guess. It's a teeny tiny town on the tippy top of the Isle of Skye. And this hostel was called the Cowshed Hostel. Beautiful, so clean. I had my own very heavy curtain in my dorm on my bed, so I felt like I had my own little room in there. So nice. Of course, the staff, amazing, spectacular. I had a little crush on one of them, maybe two of them, or three of them. Anyway, they were amazing, and if you're watching this, anyone from the Cowshed, you're the best. I miss you already. I actually ended up extending my stay there by a few days, just because I really, really liked the area. It was really close to a place called the Fairy Glen, so I ended up making friends who had cars, which was fabulous, because the first friend I made, Marlene, aside from the staff members, Marlene and I went on a hike around the Querang, which I recommend to literally everyone who's going to the Isle of Skye, because it is spectacular. Like, just look at these photos. They're unreal. Like, are you kidding me? This is a real place on this earth. I just was besides myself when we were there. Did it start raining at one point? Yes. Was it freezing cold and very windy at another point? Yes. Was I still encountering waves of bliss even after hiking up incredibly steep paths that we probably weren't even supposed to be hiking up? Yes, I was still having a jolly good time, because I knew I was going back somewhere warm and dry after the fact. Even still, I was in a beautiful place, enjoyed, had a great time. Marlene wanted to hike all the way around. I was like, you know what? It's getting cold. I kind of have a feeling it's going to get colder and wetter. I think I'm just going to go and shelter in these rocks over here. I ended up making another friend. His name was Cameron, I'm pretty sure. He offered me jelly beans. We exchanged snacks, which was very nice. And then I just hiked back with him and hung out in his warm car until Marlene came back, because I didn't have her car keys or her WhatsApp, so I couldn't message her. And she was really scared for a moment when I wasn't waiting for her at the car, but Cameron was like, I think that's your friend. And then Marlene was just like, where's Raven? So I got out. I'm like, hey, it's me. Hello, I'm alive. And it turns out she couldn't hike all the way around because the visibility was really rough. The weather was really rough, so she wanted to go back the following day. And we both made another friend, Camille. She was from Belgium and absolutely beautiful, so sweet, and loves horror films. Oh, love her. I hope she's thriving out there. Camille, if you're watching this. The three of us, the following day, went back to the Querang. Those two wanted to hike the entire thing. I had seen those sites. I wanted to hike up to Prison Rock, which is literally rock that looks like a castle. So I'm hiking up this incredibly steep mountain, and when I reach almost past the halfway point, the rain just slams into me, and I took some videos on my phone, so I'll show you here. I just climbed up to what I think is called the Prison Rock. It's right there. The weather changed very quickly. As you can see, that is all rain coming down, and it's bloody cold. The wind is getting faster as well, so oh my goodness, I really wanted to climb all the way up, but it was sunny and beautiful and clear, and then 2 minutes pass and it's like this. It looks like if I wait out the rain, it'll be okay for a little while. Most of the rain looks like it's already blown past me, actually, but it's very cold, so I think I can wait it out. It's very exposed. just right here. As you can see, I'm just getting slammed. Whew. Okay. That's better. It's calming down. I figured if I'm up here, might as well document it. So check it out. That is my view. I climbed up. And I didn't actually follow the path very closely. You know, I have to do things my way. So now my phone is in my way and I have to go. But I will keep you posted. Oh, look at that rainbow over there. Nice. Love that. I met some Scots up there. So I made it nearly to the top. That's the top. I met some nice Scotsmen. You see that rainbow over there? The wind is supposed to be 50 miles an hour today, and we're expecting hail. Luckily, I think we've seen a little bit of snow, or it's just rain that looks like snow because of how fast the wind is blowing and how bloody cold it is. But feeling like a dragon up here. It's pretty magical. Oh man, I can't. It's spectacular. As you can see, it was unreal and just spectacular. Oh my gosh, the first night I was in Ewig, one of the staff members came out and was like, you guys, come outside right now. And we saw the northern lights. It looked really faint in the sky, but luckily, though it was still very cold, it was still also really, really clear. Since it had been just raining, it was gorgeously, like, beautiful and clear. And it kind of, it looked like light pollution, but there was nothing out there, so it wasn't light pollution. And the longer you let your eyes adjust, the more you could see a slight tinge of green. So of course, I tried shooting some long exposure shots on my phone. They didn't turn out the best, but you could see it better. And then me, Marlene, and Camille drove around to a viewpoint where it was much darker. The sky in general, like with the northern lights and just the stars, were phenomenal. It was probably more stars that I've seen in a very long time. Oh my goodness. And I've never taken photos of, like, proper photos of stars or like the night sky before. The one thing that I wish the X100V had more of is more long exposure settings. The longest exposure setting I have on this camera is 1 second, which managed to get me these shots. And I did do a little bit of editing just to bump up the colors and make things a little bit more vibrant. But even still, that's the only thing I kind of wished more of so far. But anyway, that blew me away, as you can imagine. That was like on my bucket list, and it has been for a very long time, to see the northern lights. Yes, I'm going to still seek them out because I just felt like a kid in the candy store, or like I was seeing the sky for the first time ever. It was just spectacular. I don't know how else to describe it. It was really life-changing, honestly. Camille and I met another friend named Kathleen, and she's from the States, or California as well, which was pretty sweet. And the following day, we went on a little adventure with her. We saw many things, some of which I forget the names of, but I have photos of, so I will put them in the little photo here. was used to swimming in very cold oceans and loved the ocean. So once we made it to the Duntlum Castle ruins, it was right by the ocean. So we hiked down to do a little bit of tide pooling, and then Kathleen wanted to go for a swim, and she did. She had a swimsuit and everything, and we found a little beachy area. She just dove right in, and I love that for her. Camille and I also decided, you know, what the heck, and we stripped down to our chones and went in the water, mostly for some Instagram photos. As soon as the camera was on me, the water was not cold anymore. But then, you know, it was time to put clothes back on. It was really fun. I kind of swam. I got wet in the Scottish Ocean. That's pretty sweet. The first night I was in Uig, I walked to the Fairy Glen as the sun was setting. I wanted to watch the sunset from there, but it kind of like went downward into a bowl where the Fairy Glen was, so I didn't get a chance. I kind of missed the sunset as I was walking away from it. It's okay though, I saw it at a later date. But walking around the Fairy Glen by myself in like the slowly darkening twilight with the sheep. It was so peaceful and magical. I just wanted to crawl up into that moss and just decompose. Eventually, I did have to leave Uig. As much as I would have liked to stay longer, it would have been ideal if I had my own car, then I can do my own adventuring when I wanted to adventure while I was in Skye, but I did plenty of adventuring and I don't regret any of it. But I did eventually leave, and I really wanted to go back and ride the steam train, the Jackobite train, because I was originally planning on doing it when I was in Fort William, but I didn't actually get around to it. I was making excuses to not do it, but I kept thinking about it and I really wanted to do it, so I did it. One of the staff members I made friends with, and she drove me all the way down to Malig, or actually to another little town that I forget the name of, but then we took the ferry to Malig. I stayed the night there one night, and then took the steam train from Malig to Fort William again, all the way back. Beautiful, wonderful experience. I met a really, really lovely elderly couple. They were so sweet, and they actually invited me back to stay with them down in the south of England. I will get to that eventually. They gave me their card. I have their phone number. I should put it in my phone, but anyway, they were really lovely, and I hope to see them again. I'm sure I will when the time is right. As soon as I was in Fort William, I was not staying there. I got myself a bus and made my way all the way to, I took the train. I took the train to Inverness. And then since then, I've been volunteering at this lovely hostel with a beautiful view of the city. On my downtime, I get to travel the city. I get to see Loch Ness or go to other small towns nearby because it's really beautiful. There's a lot to see. And actually rest. I like taking it slow, and as much as I like having a big jam-packed travel week like I did in Uig, I really enjoy slowing down and getting to really immerse myself in the place that I'm staying, So that's been really nice. Thank you for watching my travel excursions, my adventures through my little baby Fujifilm camera. I'm really excited to keep showing you my adventures around Inverness, around more places in Scotland, around Ireland. I am making more clarified plans, slowly but surely, but also not. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm already planning on extending my trip and doing more volunteering because it's saving me money. I will update you again in the future. Thank you for listening to my musings and looking at my photos. I hope to see you again in the next video. So stay tuned. Hit the little notification bell if you haven't already to be updated when I post on my chaotic posting schedule. And subscribe. Send this to your friends that might be interested in traveling Scotland. And I will see you again next time. Ciao.